Nathan Dial, mayor of town of Estancia, born and raised here. Estancia, New Mexico, small town community. Grew up with guns, grew up with cattle, grew up with freedom. My mom was sick at a young age, so for about 3 to 6 years old, I was either raised by my grandma or my dad when he could take me to work. I was raised either in a very religious Baptist farming community or on an Indian reservation with a construction crew. So I got the complete diversity of it. I come from a military family, especially on my dad's side, and even on my mom's side. My grandfather actually was illegal alien and that joined the Marine Corps in World War II to get his citizenship. So there's definitely family heritage of serving. In 6th grade, officially the first time I ever put it out there, I was asked to write a paper on what you want to do when you grow up. Of course, sometime in my life, I saw the John Wayne movie, The Green Berets. And I went, that's what I want to do, that guy. You have to understand, I was small, like small. So here's a little, 4'2", 65-pound weakling saying he wants to be a Green Beret. And I could see it in people's eyes all the way through high school. Oh, good job. You're going to be a Green Beret. You're going to be a Ranger. It was condescending, but it was somewhat supporting. But no, that's what I knew. I would join the military just for my heritage. And I figured if I'm going to do it, I might as well do something that's cool. And being a Green Beret, according to the John Wayne Green Beret movie, got to be cool. To join the military, you get to pick your specialty. But to become a Green Beret, now you got to understand, I went Ranger first. And I went Ranger first only because my recruiter said I couldn't go Green Beret straight out of the streets, which he lied to me, but that's a different story. I went basic AIT Airborne School, Ranger Indoctrination Program to 2nd Ranger Battalion and spent 3.5 years at 2nd Ranger Battalion. It's a lot more challenging, obviously, to go to the Green Berets, but to become a Green Beret, you got to be selected. And in the selection process, it is completely regimented. It's all on you. In the Rangers, when you're going through Rangers, people are yelling at you, throwing at you, screaming at you. When you go Green Beret, it's all on you. The key is, if you take an individual's sleep away and an individual's food away, you break them down physically and mentally. And once you break them down physically and mentally, then you actually see what the man is. 86 to 90, I was on active duty in the 2nd Ranger Battalion, Black Sheep, 275 HUA. And I spent almost 2 years as a squad automatic weapons guy. Then I spent a short period as a team leader. And then to get promoted, I took a headquarters position at NBC, NCO/RNU, Repair and Utilities. And I was in headquarters company. So my first 4 years was in the 2nd Ranger Battalion. I got out in 90, joined the reserves to go to selection, went through selection through the reserves, came back. I had to join the Guard in order to complete the course. Got out of the Special Forces course, went to Russian language school. I spoke enough Spanish to get in trouble, and I asked to be Spanish trained, but for some reason in the Infantry Army's wisdom, they said, nope, you're going to go to Russian. Somehow I passed Russian. Don't ask me to speak Russian because I couldn't say anything but, hey, give me a beer in Russian today. Got out of Russian language school, went to sniper school, got out of sniper school, came back and decided I want to go back active duty. I went back active duty in 95, went to Fort Carson, 10th Special Forces Group, and at that time, I got married. So prior to being married, I spent 4 years in the 2nd Ranger Battalion and went through the Q course and selection. Did
you make any career changes after you got married and started having children?
Yes. I essentially got out of the military for the second time to save a marriage because I was trying to put my family first. So from 95 till I got out in February, March of 2000, of course, I did some real world deployments with Special Forces 10th Group. I got married, I had children, and, the problem is when I retired, I literally have been gone out of my children's life at least half of their lives. Just general rule of thumb. If I had a 10-year-old kid, I was gone 5 years of that kid's life, and so on and so forth. And so basically, I got out of the military, went into the Guard, got hired on as the Sheriff's Department as a first schools resource officer for Torrance County in order to keep my family together.
And after the 9/11 incident, how did that affect your career at the time and lead to you going active again?
Yeah, it was crazy. Basically 6 hours. Well, I was in here and I was going to go do some, basically a side job with a recruiter in order to make up some points for the National Guard. And I had left the house and the first tower got hit, and I was kind of, it was early in the morning, and I went, what dumb drunk drove a Cessna into the tower? I didn't know, I wasn't paying attention. Pulled up to the recruiting station, and they had armed guards out front, and I'm like, something's wrong. Pulled in, got in, walked in, and the second tower got hit, and I went, okay, this is a coordinated attack. We were told, get out of uniform, everybody go home, nobody knows what's going on. I literally called here to my wife and said, come to Albuquerque, we're gonna have lunch together, there's a lot of stuff that's gonna happen quick. And about the same time, I got a phone call. This is your notification, you're gonna be recalled. So about 6 hours after the first plane got hit, I got a phone call, be prepared. So for the first 2 years after 9/11, I prepped soldiers right off the street after they got out of basic AIT and airborne school to go to selection, and if they got selected, in order then to go on to the next phase. So we made sure that they knew how to land nav, they knew how to the basics of their firearms, they knew the basics of tactics. We literally jammed knowledge into their head. Once I was done with my course, these soldiers, they knew on the ground what it takes to stay alive. The mission was to go in and capture or kill bin Laden and destroy the Taliban. And the follow-on mission is nation building. Even though we're still in war and we're still having pockets of fighting, we were there to try to show them a new way of life, democracy, and to bring infrastructure in, bring electricity in, and try to establish a good democracy. When you kill the big dog, all, not necessarily little dogs, but the medium dogs are going to fight to be the big dogs. So there's a void. And the follow-on mission was try to fill that void with actual democratic elected government. But dictators don't want democratic elected governments. They want to be dictators. You always have that little guy that's willing to go hide and wait and come out in the middle of the night and fight for what he believes in. No tank, airplane, aircraft carrier will ever replace a man on the ground with a gun in his hand and the will to fight. I retired as a master sergeant, which is E8, and in that career, or in that rank structure, the highest is E9. So I had one more rung to make the highest rank I could make. I was holding out to become a sergeant major within the unit I was at, and then hopefully I wanted to be able to take that unit on a combat tour. That was my ultimate goal. I could have took the promotion and took other positions, but then positions wouldn't have got me another combat tour. That was my goal. Was one, I wanted to be a team sergeant in combat, which that was over. That time had passed. So at least I wanted to be a company sergeant major, and then at least take a company into combat. But it wasn't meant to be. somebody has to fight for us. You know, there's a saying, and I can distinctly remember making a toast going into combat for the first time. You know, may I go to war so my children don't have to. I'm doing it for my children, my community. The desire is I want my children and grandchildren who are not born yet to live in the America that I remember.